Welcome to another video edition of Behind the Badge, Orange County. I'm your host, Ross Nemiroff. Today we are at the Orange County Sheriff's Regional Training Academy, and behind me is the Orange County Peace Officers Memorial. It is fitting that we recorded our episode here today because it serves as a reminder of those brave law enforcement officers who have given their lives in the line of duty here in Orange County. You're going to hear personal reflections from officers that have recently traveled to the funerals for officers that were killed in Dallas, Texas. Not only are we reflecting on 5 officers that were killed in Dallas, but the 3 officers that were recently killed in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. All were targeted and murdered just because of the uniform they wear. At the end of this segment, we will list the names of the 8 officers killed in the line of duty. Here interviewing Officer Rodeo from the Garden Grove Police Department. Okay, so you were chosen to go back to Dallas for the funerals, and I'm sure you wanted to go as well, correct?
Yes.
So how did that happen?
When we all found out about the Dallas officers, there was an overwhelming response saying, asking if we would be able to go. And essentially everyone who expressed interest, our names were put into a hat, and they drew 8 of us out of that hat, and I was one of those that was chosen to go, and it was a really surreal experience even getting the call and being told that I was going to be chosen to go.
Well, what was the most impactful thing that you experienced when you got to Dallas?
Actually going to the Dallas Police Department, seeing the 2 cars parked out front just covered in flowers and bouquets and different signs saying that they back the police department, patches from other departments and coins from other departments. Just seeing all of the support from the community there, and they didn't even know where we were from, but they were grabbing us and looking at our patches, asking to give us hugs and just thanking us for our service. And that just really hit home that there are more people out there that really do support you, and they want you to succeed in this career. And from there we went to their actual ground zero, which is where the shootings occurred, and standing there in each of the 3 different spots where the 5 officers lost their lives, that was a very surreal moment. It was about 100 degrees out and felt like 100% humidity compared to California, and I had the chills because you're standing there and you're looking and you think to yourself, I'm 10 feet away from where this officer was gunned down and where he took his last breath. And that's a pretty heavy feeling, a heavy heart that you end up with.
How has that changed the way you think you're perceived back here at home in the Garden Grove community among?
We actually have a very good rapport with our community. We have a ton of people that support us, and we have an outpouring of the support. Even here on our memorial, we had a lot of flowers and people posted signs saying that they appreciate us. And it's sad that it took such a tragedy for all of the support for law enforcement to come out, but it has come out, and we appreciate our community, and it shows that they do appreciate and support us as well.
On your way back, I understand that you guys found out some other tragic news coming back from Dallas to the airport. What happened?
We landed and we're taxiing to the gate. I turned on my phone, and the first 2 text messages I got both read about the same thing, that 3 officers in Baton Rouge had been killed.
Well, that must have been surreal at that point. What was that like as a unit coming back among the men and women that you went over to Dallas with?
Upsetting. You go from one tragedy and you think things might turn around, things might get a little bit better, and the next thing you know, you're getting text messages and notifications that now 3 more officers have been killed. And you already have a heavy heart. You're coming from one funeral, one city that's just been hit with a huge tragedy, and all of a sudden another city's experiencing that. 3 more families have now lost a father, a son, a husband, whatever it may be. And us as law enforcement, that's 3 more brothers in blue that we've now lost.
Has that made you doubt in any way the career path that you've chosen about what you decide to do as a police officer?
No. lying if I said there's not times that you get nervous when you're out here, but if anything, it just makes me feel a little bit more proud to put on my badge and go out there. I know there's people that support us. They may be a silent majority, but I know they're out there. And I've gotten so many thank yous and hugs and handshakes now that no, I don't second guess what I'm doing, and I'm more proud now than I was before to put on my badge every day and go out there and serve my community.
Okay, I'm here with Jeremy Morris from the Garden Grove Police Department. Where were the bullet holes in the vehicles?
From what I remember, there was a couple in the windshield area and maybe a few miscellaneous ones throughout the car, but you could really see the ones in the windshield.
How did that affect you, like seeing the car with the bullet holes in it like that?
I'd never seen that before, so it's kind of hard to describe, because our glass, it's not bulletproof. They'll fly right through, and where those bullet holes were, I mean, that's where we sit, and they could easily, get you right there. So it was scary. I mean, seeing that.
How has that affected your day-to-day work and what you do today, responding to radio calls and just approaching scenes of crimes?
Since Dallas and since Baton Rouge and now San Diego, I think officers around the country are paying a lot more attention to what's going on, especially when you go to these paper calls. You never know if it's just going to be just a standard report that you take, or if it's an ambush type situation. So I think the big thing nowadays is everybody's kind of looking out for ambushes, and so everybody's staying a lot more alert. It's easy to get complacent in this job, just doing the day-to-day things, so everybody's just trying to stay alert. When somebody makes a traffic stop, especially with us, we did this before, but even when somebody self-initiates something, we have their partners going there right away to back them up. So we never want anybody doing stuff on their own, and that's just how we've always been, but especially lately, it's just...
What's the reaction been in the community that you serve with the public? How are they reacting to you on a daily basis now?
It's been a great thing in our city. I don't think a day's gone by since Dallas that people haven't come to the PD, dropped off food, cards. We have a big stack of thank you cards in our briefing room, and it's just people expressing their appreciation for what we do. And we like seeing that. I mean, we know there's still a lot of good people out there, and so it's nice. Everybody's been really supportive, and then everybody's just kind of looking after one another. Explain
to us what the scene was like when you got there. Obviously, it wasn't active anymore, but if you can describe what it was like with the police cars and any of the evidence that you saw.
After the funeral, we decided to go to the station, and the station's not too far from the actual scene. So once we saw the cars that are parked in front of the station with the bullet holes, we went just maybe a few minutes south of, and we went to the scene. And it was a very kind of different thing to be a part of, because before we went, there's a lot of videos online of the active shooter. So everybody saw those videos beforehand. And when we went, we didn't think we'd be able to go to the scene. We thought it would still be closed off, and there'd be, we wouldn't be able to go. We went down there, and the only thing that's changed is they've cleaned up, blood and whatnot, but it's gated off. But there's still broken glass everywhere. There's still, bolt holes. You can see the bolt holes in the building. So it was just it's kind of indescribable watching those videos of the horrible things that went on in Dallas, and then actually being within a couple feet of where it happened, and so that had an impact on me, and I know it had an impact on everybody else, because it's just surreal.
You kind of almost feel the presence of the situation,
Yep.
and what it was like to be there at that time.
It was, and at the scene there's Dallas officers there just answering questions, and we spoke to a lot of them, and they kind of gave us the play-by-play of this happened here, and they just kind of told us, all those details. So it was, and you felt like you were, in it almost. It makes you appreciate what you have, though, that's for sure, and it makes you want to do whatever you can to help your partners out.
Besides the positive impacts with the community, have you experienced anything else that in your day-to-day operations that you want to share with us?
I have noticed while making traffic stops and And, you know, I wouldn't say making negative contacts, but, you know, self-initiating stuff nowadays, I've noticed that people are kind of, they're a little more on edge when we contact them. There's some positivity from the community members, but then you also have that element of people who just kind of want to make a mockery of things. It's different right now. It's a weird time to be a cop right now.
For sure.
And I don't have that much time on, but if you talk to any of the guys who've been cops 15, 20, 25 years, they never would have imagined. They said they never would have imagined it would come to this and be like this nowadays. It's just, it's different.
All right, well, thank you for your service. Really appreciate your time
Thank
talking
you,
to
sir.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.